Feeling Through is the first Oscar-nominated film to feature a deaf-blind actor in a leading role. It's already won a whopping 16 awards and is up for Best Live Action Short Film. And joining us now to discuss Feeling Through is one of the film's two directors, Doug Roland. Doug, for those who haven't had the opportunity to see the film, and it's incredible, I had the chance to watch it last night, can you give us a brief overview of what it's about?
Sure. Thanks for having me. And I am actually the sole director of the film, just to chime in on that. But the film is it was inspired by an encounter I had 10 years ago in New York City with the first person who's deafblind that I had ever met. But it's a fictionalized version of that story or that encounter, and it's really just it's about the unlikely connection between a teen in need and a deaf-blind man a late night on a New York City street.
And I'm wondering how you came to the decision to focus on both a homeless teen and a deaf-blind man. Was there, a life experience that you had that led to your interest in kind of making sure that those lived experiences got some attention in the film?
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, the film was directly inspired by a real life encounter that I had 10 years ago. And similar to some of the major, story beats of the film, I was coming home late one night. I saw a man standing on a street corner holding a sign that said, "I'm deaf and blind and need help crossing the street." I took him to a bus stop and ended up waiting with him for over an hour for the bus. Wow. And figured out that we could communicate by me tracing one letter at a time in his palm and him writing back in a notepad. And we had an entire really amazing conversation that way, where I felt like I got to know this man. Artemio is this just really charismatic, lovely person that I felt like I'd really made a profound connection with, and wanted to find some way to present what was gained for me in that moment in story form to share with other people.
So, Doug, I have to dig into this now that I know that this was your lived experience, because that opens up so many questions that I have. At the end of the film, I couldn't help but want these two individuals to get each other's numbers or have a way to connect again. Did you have that experience at all?
Great question. So I'm going to give a little spoiler alert here we made a supporting documentary that follows the process of not only casting and working with Robert, who's our deafblind actor, but also the year-long search for the man that I'd met many years prior, who I'd encountered many years prior, whom this was based on. And, in short, it took an entire year working with the Helen Keller National Center, who I partnered with to make the film, to track Artemio down. But not only did we track him down, but we had cameras in the room when I reunited with him. Wow. And that's part of the supporting documentary that people can find on our YouTube channel. But it was an amazing moment. We reunited about almost exactly 7 years to the day of when we first had that encounter. And it was so amazing because even though I'd only had that one encounter with him years prior, he seemed so familiar when I was reunited with him. And it was such an amazing opportunity to tell him about everything that he had inspired and to reconnect with him.
Wow, Doug, that is just so special. Thank you for sharing that with us. And you mentioned your work with the Helen Keller Center. Can you tell me a bit about what you did in the filmmaking process to work with your leading deafblind actor?
Yeah, so, right off the start, when I wanted to make this film, I knew that instinctively, I knew I needed to make it, not just cast a deafblind actor, but make it in collaboration with the community. There's virtually zero representation of the deafblind community in any film, TV, or media at all. And I knew that there was a real responsibility to doing it in the right way. And I wanted to make sure that I did everything I could to, uphold that responsibility. Very fortunately, I got to partner with, and have continued to partner with throughout this entire 3-year process, from pre-production through exhibition, with the Helen Keller National Center. Worked with them directly to first of all learn a lot more about the community, connect with a ton of people from the community, work directly with people from the community, and also to cast Robert, who's our deafblind actor, who, quick little anecdote on that, was not on our casting schedule, but actually worked in the kitchen at Helen Keller National Center and was pulled into the casting room midday, and was kind of this very kismet, introduction to the guy who ultimately was the best fit. So it was, working with them has been invaluable for sure.
Doug, we only have about 30 seconds left here. Tell me quickly, what do you hope people take away from the film?
Well, first and foremost, it's an amazing opportunity for people to connect with a universal story about the power of human connection, despite whatever differences we might have. But beyond that, it's also an amazing opportunity for the many people out there who have never thought of or learned about anything about the deafblind community to get a real taste of the community and feel a heartfelt connection to it after seeing the film.
Doug, can't thank you enough for joining us and for making such a phenomenal film. Thank you so much for your time today. Scarlett, I can't recommend this film enough. It was a combination of heartbreaking and touching, and I cried and I laughed. It was just the perfect combination of emotions.
And the authentic casting really puts it in a league of its own. I was just checking, and it's got some real star power as well. Marlee Matlin was the executive producer of the film.
Yep, and it's so beautifully shot and well done.
Can't wait to see it.